Hey babes, right now we're going to be talking about selling to a crowd. Okay, so let me back up. I just kind of want to tell you a little bit about a story, my own personal mascara journey. So for me, prior to starting with mascara, I did not have a social media following. I just basically had my own, private account, friends, family, those kind of people that followed me. And I didn't even post all that often. It was just mostly my kids, and I loved it and it was great. So when I started with mascara, when I joined, I was like, hey, and I am not a pushy salesperson. It is my worst, biggest pet peeve. I cannot stand pushy salespeople. And even if they have a really great product or they have something that I maybe even really want, if they are pushing it on me, I'm like, no, I'm in control of this. No, it makes me not want to buy from them just because they're pushing it too hard on me. And so as a hairdresser, I worked in a salon for 15 years before I started with mascara. And in the salon, I was always one of the top sellers for retail products. And the reason is because I had my 5 products. Okay, maybe more than 5, but I had my handful of products that I knew that I loved, and that when I used them on other people, they were gonna love them too. I knew that, how to use them. I knew how to tell my clients how to use them, and I could tell them why they needed them and why I loved them so much. And then I would demonstrate it on them, right? When I'm doing their hair, I'd be like, hey, this is how you use this, and this is how you're gonna get the volume. And then when they would go to leave, all I had to say to them was, did you need any products while you were here today? I never said things like, hey, come over here. Let me show you these products. Which ones are you going to take home today? I could never do that. And so I found a very consistent reward and what's the right word? A very consistent effect on my clients purchasing if I just was very honest and casual about it. This is what it is and this is why it would be good for you. And then basically handed them a silver platter that had everything all the information, all the tools, everything that I needed to tell them. But then I let them choose if they were going to buy and what they were going to buy. And it always worked. So when I signed up with mascara, I was like, how am I going to do this? Especially because it's a direct sales company, which has very negative connotations with selling and being pushy. This is the last thing I wanted. I thought, how am I going to tell my customers and my friends and family about this? And I just thought, you know what? Instead of having to sit down and tell every one of my customers in my chair, I'm just going to put it out there on my social media account, which, like I said, I had some customers, I had friends and family that followed me on there, and I thought it's just a great way that I can do one video and kind of tell everybody about it, because just the way I am personally, I would never be like, hey guys, family dinner, I started this new business, are you all going to buy from me? I just couldn't do it. And so I thought if I do this video, put it out there and kind of tell everybody, about the makeup and that I was using it and I loved it already. And so I decided to join the company, to be an artist for the company. And if anybody had any questions, please let me know. So that's kind of how I started. And doing that one video was so beneficial because it did exactly that. It put the little bug in everybody's ear. And then the next time they see me, they'd be like, hey, tell me more about this makeup that you're using, or what is this? Door open, then I give them all the information. I would tell them why I love it, everything about this makeup that has absolutely, changed my life and my makeup game, right? And then it turned into, well, I want to try it. Okay, let me color match you. I got this, So that's kind of where I started. And so that first video led into a lot of in-person color matches and parties and things like that. And in the meantime, I was still kind of putting it out there on my social media. I created a separate account, started doing a lot more on there and telling people about it, as well as offering a couple other random advices on hair, all kinds of other things on there. And it started converting into more online sales. And I was like, wow, this is really cool. Like, people are buying and I don't even have to, like, all I got to do is virtually color match them. This is amazing. So then it just kind of, it was like this snowball effect. Like, the more I did online, the more it just like kept going, you know? And so there is such a huge benefit in utilizing your social media because you can sell to the masses. Like, if I go do an in-home party, I'm only going to be selling to those 15 people right there, or maybe 5 people, which is still great. That's a great way to start, and everybody needs to start somewhere. But then once you hit those 5 people, those 5 people will go out and tell a couple people, but you're kind of limited within that. Where if you get online and you have even 500 followers and you do a video or you talk about it or you do a story, you're reaching 500 people, not just 5. So it's pretty freaking amazing. And I encourage every single one of you to think about this for a minute. Think about like some of your most recent online purchases. What led you to buy it? Probably more than likely somebody influenced you online to purchase it. I can't even like tell you how many things I buy because I'm like via online, because I see somebody else using it and they give me a link and I'm like, oh great, I'm gonna get that. She loves it. I trust her. I'm gonna love it. And I buy it. Like, the way of the world, I just feel like so many of us rarely get online these days, rarely walk into retail stores and buy lots of stuff that way. We mostly are buying via online, and a lot of that is because we're not just seeing it online, but we're watching people give so many different reviews of it online, and that's what ultimately makes us click and purchase and buy in a matter of seconds. So please, please, please utilize your online platforms, because you can sell so much more. And even if that leads to your in-person matches and your in-person parties, you're connecting with so much more people online. So that being said, I have kind of some very this is my personal opinion, but I find great success with it. I feel like you should always, and I talked about this in my other video on branding yourself, but I feel like your online sales, there is a very pushy way to go about it, and there's a very nonchalant way to go about it. And more than likely, if you're selling this makeup, you love it, right? You love it. You love the way it makes your skin look. You love how beautiful you feel with it on. You love sharing it with other women, because most of us, if we find something we love, we want to share it with people. We want to tell other people about it so that they can love it like we do. And that is how you need to look at this business, is not that you are a salesperson or you're, selling makeup to the masses, but you are just sharing it. You just have to share it with people as something you love, and that's what's gonna get them wanting the makeup. I mean, think about whoever you purchased the makeup from, who your artist was, or whoever you signed up with, or whoever your affiliate is with this makeup. What is it that attracted you to that person, and why is it that you decided to buy the makeup? And duplicate that, because that is ultimately what you need to replicate, because it worked on you, right? Like, it worked on you. So for me, I like to say your posts, stories, posts, all of it should be 80% your life. Like, that means everything else in your life except for mascara. And that can be anything. Whatever, it can be your kids, it can be your dog, it can be your husband, it can be your friends, it can be your lifestyle, it can be something you're good at, like grocery shopping, couponing, like all these things, decorating, food. It could be anything, fashion. 80% you talk about all kinds of other stuff, and then only 20% of what you talk about on your page should be mascara. Because this is the reason for this. I feel like people, if they get on and you're always just doing the same things over and over again, the same tutorials, you're always talking about mascara, makeup, you're always only talking about that, it gets really repetitive and it gets really boring to people. And so what they do is they end up skipping. They just skip right through it without even really paying too much attention. They maybe will watch once or twice, but then they're like, oh, that's all she talks about, you know? So I feel like it's super important to have 80% masses of other things and then 20% mascara. And the reason for that is because it really is going to help people find a connection with you. I also talked about this in my other video too, with branding yourself and attracting your tribe. You have to create connections with people to get them to want to buy something from you, especially if they're people that you don't know, that people that are just following you on social media because they seen something that you put out there that they really liked. But I just cannot reiterate how important it is to think of this as you're genuinely sharing something that you love and you want other people to experience it too and to love it like you do, you know, and then in that you let them know, I'm a mascara artist. I signed up because I love it and it's changed my life for this reason. And I would love to help you. I can help color match you. I can help you with all the things. Let me know what you need and I'll be glad to help you. But it is just important that we let them know that we're there if they need us, but we're not going to be like pushy, okay? And I think everybody's a little bit different in this sense too. That's another thing. Some people will, you know, like to be pushed a little bit more and others don't. But that's okay. You just do what feels right to you in approaching those online sales. If you like being contacted 4 or 5 times by somebody about buying from them, then that's okay. Go ahead and do that. But if you don't, then don't do that. Because I know I'm like that. If somebody contacts me a few times about purchasing something from them, I'm like, hey, turned off. Now I don't even want to buy what you're trying to sell me because you're making it like seem like it's just like, take it, you know, instead of like, hey, here's all the information for you. Come back and find me. If you need me, I'll be happy to help you. Like approaching it kind of in that manner. So you're sharing, you just share the product versus selling it. And you're there for them if they need help. And I feel like if you take those tactics and you utilize them, it will replicate into sales for sure. So, okay, hopefully that helps a little bit. It's been fun chatting and we'll see you around.